Hello everyone, and welcome back to the SamWow Incorporated... Wait, this is not the SamWow Incorporated Games, this is the Sammy Games. Mr. Noble has outdone himself this time, because he has not captured 48 separate Webkins, but rather, he captured one single Samoyed, and decided to clone him over and over and over again, until he had 48 separate Sammys. That's right everyone. This Hunger Games is going to be the Battle of the Sammys. Some of the Sammys look a little bit different than other Sammys, just so things are a little bit more exciting and less confusing. So, let's start out with the introductions. In District 1, we have 4 of the Sammys that you know and love. Of course, we have Sammy, the original Sammy, Girl Sammy, the very withered and malnourished Girl Sammy. I don't know how long she's going to survive. Her husband, other boy Sammy, and normal Sammy's sister, Sammy. Before we move on any further, all of these Samoyeds are some spelling of Sammy or some form of Sammy. I am expecting this to get very confusing very quickly, but bear with me. In District 2, they look very similar, except if you look at their names, rather than 2 M's, they all have 3 M's. So again, you have Sammy, 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 and Sammy. In District 3, we have 2 more of your Sammys that you know and love. Sammy's mother, Sammy, S-A-M-I, and the Sammy of Unikins, Sammy, S-A-M-M-E-E. And they will have a little bit of help in this district, as Mr. Noble has enlisted 2 robot Sammys, Sam E and Sam E. In District 4, we have the virtual district, as these are all Sammys, not just Sammys, but Sam-Me's. Mr. Noble was probably laughing at himself when he thought up these names. In District 5, we have generic Sammys, but you may notice that the last 2 have clown wigs, because they decided to get a little bit wild with their names. We have Sammy, 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 and Sammy. That last one is just amazing. In District 6, we have the leftovers, because Mr. Noble didn't know what to do with these ones. So we have Sammy, Sammy with 2 Y's, Sammy, S-A-M-I-Y, and Sammy, S-A-M-M-I-Y. Now, something different happened with District 7. As you can see, these Sammys look a little bit different and are not even called Sammy. Yet Mr. Noble found 4 real Samoyeds and enlisted them for this game. I'm personally rooting for this district because there are some amazing Samoyeds in here. We have Sam, good old just your average Sam. Samuel, the more sophisticated one. Samson, the big floofy Sammy. And Samsung, the successful Samoyed who really made it in life, as you can tell by his aviators and striped tie. In District 8, we have the silent Sammys, or the Sammys with the silent letters. But personally, I want to pronounce them as if their names weren't silent. So we have Sammy, 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 and Sammy. Now, Districts 9 and 10 are pretty much like District 6. They're pretty much the leftovers, and Mr. Noble didn't know how to group them. So we have, again, Sammy, 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 and Sammy. Now, District 11, we have the foreign Sammys, because their spellings of Sammy almost looked like they're from India, hence the pictures. We have Same, Same, Samye, and Samye. I wonder if Samye has anything to do with Kanye. And last but not least, we have District 12. And again, these Webkins look very similar to the Samoyeds that you all know and love, but they look a little bit different because they are the backwards district, as you can tell by EMAS, AMAS, YEMAS, and IMAS. Those are going to get hard to say. With all of that being said, let us begin the first and probably last Sammy Games. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Let the Sammy Games begin. A number of Webkins run away from the cornucopia. How exciting! We have our first scene of action in the Sammy Games as Sammy and Samye fight Samsung and Sammy. Sammy and Samye survive. Well, it looks like aviators and a striped tie don't get you everywhere in life. Sammy grabs a jar of fishing bait while Sammy gets fishing gear. You know, I just thought about this. If two Sammys wanted to team up, and then one Sammy tries to call out to another Sammy, like all the other Sammys are gonna look at that one Sammy. You know, actually, we really need like a Sammy counter for this video. So if there's someone in the comments that wants to count how many times I say Sammy in this video, be my guest. Yamass grabs the backpack, not realizing it's empty. Even though it's backwards Sammy, he still has bad luck. Sammy grabs the sword. You know, those days stuck in the Wii U console have really gotten to Sammy. Oh, this is such a Sammy thing to do. Sammy runs into the cornucopia and hides. He doesn't run away from the cornucopia, but like, of all the things for the normal Sammy to do, that makes the most sense. Sammy grabs a sword, Sammy grabs a shovel, and Sam E grabs a shovel. I wonder if Sam E and Sam E are teaming up. They're gonna dig themselves to victory. Sam E spears Sammy in the abdomen. We have our third death in the Sammy games, as Sammy's mother was murdered by a generic clone. Sammy finds whatever her name is, hiding in the cornucopia and kills her. The malnourished Webkins didn't last very long. Sammy also grabs a shovel. How many shovels were in the cornucopia? My goodness. Sammy runs away from the cornucopia. I just picture this like very skinny, malnourished Webkins just like hobbling away from the cornucopia. Like the game's just started and they're already hobbling away. Believe it or not, that was all in the bloodbath. This is gonna be just a long game. Sam E practices his archery. Well, as a robot, I would assume that he has like perfect aim. Samson receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Sammy receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Sammy begs for Sammy to kill him. He refuses, keeping Sammy alive. Just Sammy begs for Sammy to kill her. He refuses, keeping just Sammy alive. Good on you, Sammy. Sammy, Samye, and Sammy track down and kill Emas. Well, looks like one of the originals is down. Wait, I guess it's not an original, it's a mirror of the original. Sammy and Samye track down and kill Samuel. All the District 7 ones are going down, the ones I thought were going to do well because they actually looked like sophisticated and stuff. I guess you just shouldn't wear glasses because the two that have gone from District 7 so far have been wearing sunglasses and just normal glasses. Sammy, Sammy, and Emas get in a fight. Sammy triumphantly kills them both. I think the Triple End sister murdered her reflective self. Honestly, this is already getting confusing. It's only day one. Sammy falls into a frozen lake and drowns. Sorry, Uni, your Sammy didn't last very long. Sammy accidentally steps on a landmine. Well, with a name like Sammy, I didn't expect them to last very long anyway. 10 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Samsung. Gone but not forgotten. Looks like Apple's gonna win this battle. Sam stays awake all night, staring out of the water with that beautiful face. Sammy, the virtual Sammy, fends Samye, Sammy, and Sammy away from her fire. You know, I'm just gonna pronounce everything like Sammy. I've given up on trying to pronounce all these differently because it's just gonna get too confusing. Sammy receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Samye overpowers Sammy, killing him. The first of the original Sammys goes down. Sammy, the wild Sammy, receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Sammy receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Sammy convinces Sammy not to kill him, only to kill her instead. So Sammy, I don't know which one died, but I guess we'll find out. Sammy kills Sammy with her own weapon. Oh my goodness, the malnourished Sammy actually did something. Sam E receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. You know, I would think as a robot, fresh food probably isn't the most helpful thing to keep him going. Maybe like batteries or something, but I don't know, you do you. Sammy dies from hypothermia. Oh my goodness, all the silent Sammys are dying. Sammy picks flowers. Sammy receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Samye and Sammy fight Sammy and Samson. Sammy and Samson survive. The wild Sammy and the floofy Sammy are the ones to survive. I'm looking forward to see if they team up to continue the games. Sammy stabs Sammy while his back is turned. Oh my goodness, the original Sammy defeated a robot Sammy. Who would have thought? Sammy picks flowers. Just Sammy receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Everyone's sponsoring Just Sammy now after seeing Puss Sammy and Cuss Sammy going down. After day 2, 7 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. 21 Sammys remain. Wait, no. Oops, math. Why am I so bad at math? It's 31. Sorry. 31 Sammys remain. Sammy dies from hypothermia. Like, that's 2 Sammys to die from hypothermia. You would have thought with all that fluffy fur they would have at least been able to survive more than 2 days in the cold. Sammy convinces wild Sammy to snuggle with him. We have a romance blossoming. Sammy and Samson question their sanity while Sammy receives medical supplies. Again, I don't know how medical supplies would be helpful to a robot, but these sponsors seem to know what they're doing. Sammy receives medical supplies. Sammy sets Sammy on fire with a Molotov. You know, that's the most interesting death that Sammy has had in any of these Hunger Games. But sadly, the original will not be the winner in this one. And of all the Webkins to bring him down, it's the malnourished Webkins. Funnily enough, both of them are still alive. Sammy receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. I really hope it's not like one of the generic Sammys that ends up winning, because I want to see like a unique one. No offense to the generic ones, but I want to see like a unique one win this game. Sammy sprains her ankle while running away from Sammy. Sammy sprains her ankle while running away from Sammy. Sammy diverts Sammy's attention and runs away, spraining her ankle in the process. Sammy is unable to convince Sammy not to kill her. She's avenging her brother. Sammy and Sammy work together for the day. If the original can't win, maybe the one with 3 M's can win. He just needs the help of a virtual avatar. Sam discovers a cave. It's an underwater cave, apparently, according to his picture. Sammy receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Just Sammy, Sam E, and Sam E get into a fight. Sam E triumphantly kills them both. Another silent Sammy goes down, and the robot Sammy is the one to win the fight. I am not surprised whatsoever. After day 3, 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Sammy receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Sammy receives medical supplies. You know, with her kind of look, I'm not surprised that they decided to give her medical supplies. Sammy receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Sammy tends to Samson's wounds. It might be a little bit hard to see those wounds underneath all that fur, but Sammy seems to know what they're doing. Sammy accidentally detonates a landmine while trying to arm it. I think their wig got in the way. Sammy strangles wild Sammy with a rope. Wow, both clown wig Sammys go down in the same night. Sam spears Sammy in the abdomen. He finally did something. He got his head out of the water and actually did something. Yemis is unable to start a fire, while Sammy starts a fire. The difference between a real dog and a virtual dog. Sammy dies from an infection. Sammy runs away from Sam E. I would be scared of a giant robot too. Sammy's taints Sammy's food, killing her. Well, malnourished Sammy finally went down. She expected a lot longer than I expected her to be honest. Arena event. A volcano erupts at the center of the arena. Sammy pushes Sammy into the lava. Sammy dips her weapon in the lava and kills Sammy with it. As Sam trips over Sam E into the lava, he grabs her and pulls her down with him. Sam E dips his weapon in the lava and kills Sammy with it. As Samson trips over Sammy into the lava, he grabs him and pulls him down with him. That's a lot of hymns in there, and poor floofy Samson just went down. As Sammy trips over Sammy into the lava, she grabs him and pulls him. That's a very unique event that has seemed to happen multiple times. As Sammy and Sammy, okay, we get it. 17 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Okay, so who's left? We have the sister of Sammy who is still alive. We have her counterpart, her triple M'd counterpart. We have the malnourished Sammy's triple Sammy counterpart. And we have Sam E, the robot, My money is on either him or the sister or this one, honestly. We also have this Sammy. All of District 7 is gone despite my biggest predictions. We have Same, a Webkins that could relate to everyone. And Samoyed is still surprisingly alive. Maybe he'll write a new album about it. And last but not least, we have Yemis that's still alive. Samoyed, Sammy, and Sammy cheerfully sing songs together. You know, there may have been a volcanic eruption, but cheerfully singing songs always seems to cheer everyone up. Same receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Meanwhile, Sammy cries herself to sleep. This is all just too much for her. The feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Same kills Sammy with her own weapon. Sammy stabs Yemis in the back with a Weren't they just talking to each other last night? Weren't they, like, just telling stories about themselves to one another? Wow, Sammy's a traitor. Sammy catches Sammy off guard and kills him. 6 Sammys remain. Sammy receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Sam E sprains his ankle while running away from Sammy. You know, I'm not going to make that robot joke again, but that just makes no sense. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Sammy and Sammy fight Samoyed and Sam E. Sammy and Sammy survive. The 2 sisters team up and they both survive, taking down Samoyed, the songwriter, and Sam E, the robot. Meanwhile, Sammy and Sammy hold hands. I just imagine it's like this 2 separate scenes in a movie. There's like this nice romance going on, and then meanwhile there's like this bloodbath of a fight going down between a robot, 2 clones, and an Indian Samoyed. Sammy dies from hunger. No! You were my bet to win. How did you die from hunger? You were just fighting a robot and an Indian Samoyed. How does that work? Sammy receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Sammy falls into a pit and dies. Okay, last 2 Webkins. The sister with 3 M's in her name, and Sammy, probably the most simple spelling of all of the Sammys. Who will it be? Sammy kills Sammy with his own weapon. And with that, the winner of the Sammy Games is a Webkins who is a clone of another Sammy and decided to add an extra M to her name. Plus, she gets the privilege of not being a product of Mr. Noble and being the true, superior Sammy. She had 8 kills. Wow, the sisters combined, Sammy's sister had a combined 12 kills. That's a little concerning. Now here are the placements of everyone, and in last place comes Samsung. Oh wow, Apple users are going to get a hoot out of that one. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, so please comment, rate, and subscribe to Red Velvet Donut, and as always, peace, love, and donuts.